Hi, folks. This is Rick Doc Walker, the DOC.
This is John Kime, and you're listening to the Mess Hall with Rally Captain and Tailgate Ted.
What's going on, Rally? Happy April Fool's Day, man.
You know, it's April Fool's Day, but not only is that, Ted, it's Artemis launch day, man. And as I tell you, as Neil Armstrong said, this is one small step for man and one giant leap for mankind. And ultimately, that's how I look at this new Commanders off season with everything that's coming down the pipe. Anyway, enough of me. How you doing, bro?
I'm good, man. I can't wait for this day to end, right? It's just, I wake up and I had a bunch of people send me. Did you see what Barstool DMV put out there?
No, what do you put out?
So Barstool DMV put a picture of an old Redskins helmet, and there's a block W with an arrow, and those that are just listening, we'll put it on our YouTube. You can watch it there. And it says, going back, Washington Commanders announced plans to revert back to Redskins name ahead of the 2026 NFL season in major franchise rebrand decision. Right. And
April Fool.
you'd be amazed how many people thought that this was legit. Like, you can't believe anything that comes out today. Right. I think I saw a post, and it's probably true, that Von Miller signed with the Raiders. A, I don't care where the hell Von Miller goes. Right? He's just a mercenary trying to get a sack record. And B, I just don't know what to believe because it is April Fool's Day. And those of you listening, and you're not listening to it on today, the April Fool's Day, sorry, we're rehashing stuff, but this is the one day of the year that I could really do without.
Hey, man, the thing about it is this. You got to just keep your head on a swivel and let things go. Just let it go. Because I got to tell you, that looks legit. Even though in my heart of hearts, I know that it's not going to happen. Even though, you see, I'm wearing what I'm wearing today.
Oh, yeah.
I'm not going to throw it away. So, and it's hot outside. So I've got plenty of summer shirts like this. So, hey, why not rock it?
I mean, I'm sure I got the Dan Quinn W with the feathers on it right now. I'm rocking. But I'm looking at the post. Nowhere on here does it say, like, below, like, several paragraphs down, haha, April Fools. It just leaves it as that. So that's why you have all these people that are just thinking. Because did you see the team's video that went out like a week or two ago about the new uniforms dropping on April 15th?
I did see the teaser. And I, for one, am very excited and anxious to see what they come up with.
I'm right there with you.
I have a clue simply because they said it's going to be similar to what we wore last year, but similar and being the same is two different things. So who knows what they got going on? And I'm sure you heard, like everyone else heard, the presser from the Hall group to where they're excited as well. So, and they have some surprises. So I don't know what direction to go into.
So, and that was the whole thing that kind of started this, right? Those that haven't seen it, the team put out a video on their socials. I'm sure you can find it. And it's just some delivery person bringing in two boxes. And then there's a shot overhead, basically, of the elevator camera. And one of them looks like it's a box of jerseys. The other one looks like it's a new helmet, right? And basically, it's teasing that new uniforms dropping on April 15th. So, like, all right, sweet. Well, then you got this whole Barstool thing that came out today. People are like, oh my gosh, they didn't wait till April 15th. They leaked it out now. The old stuff is coming back. I'm like, come on, people. You guys got to be kidding me. And this is actually what Josh Harris said during the NFL owners meetings. Those wondering, NFL owners meetings were going on earlier this week out in Arizona, and Josh and DQ and Peters were all there talking. And this is what Josh had to say about the uniforms.
As you're looking at the changes to the uniforms, has there been any discussion about the block W or any sort of potential kind of logoing with the team?
Yeah, we're always looking at this stuff, and like I said, we're committed to the Commander's name. I'm gonna leave. We have a lot of surprises up our sleeve this season. I think people will be. I'm excited to see the reaction. I think we've got it right, and I'm gonna leave it to the surprise situation to allow everyone to enjoy it.
So
So
no 2226, huh?
no.
2222.
4/15/26. I mean, it's
Yeah.
the fact that he said we're committed to the commander's name again. It ain't going anywhere, guys. I'm a little annoyed that I'm going to have to buy a new jersey for whatever the hell we're
Yeah.
going to rebrand as. And,
Yeah.
it's a first world problem trying to fit Tailgate Ted on the back. You trying to put Rally Captain on the back of your jersey. It's just, something we got to figure out and deal with once it happens. I just think about all the stuff I bought after we rebranded because the team had, I want to say it was either a 40 or a 60% off sale for
70.
yeah, it was something ridiculous for season ticket holders, right?
Yeah.
And going into the store that day, I took a picture of what my bill was and then what it dropped down to after they hit that discount button. Like you go to the grocery
Hmm.
store and they scan items and you wonder if they
Coupons.
got your code, right? Not even coupons, like just typing in like your phone number for like your loyalty code. And I always wonder,
Yeah.
did you actually hit the button yet? Because I like to see the number go down as you're doing it. And, are they going to do that again with us? Because Mitch was just asking, is the block W going to stick around? What's going on? I actually got a commander's helmet behind me, right, with that W. Like, I'm going to have to get a new helmet and all this other stuff. But this was actually
Hmm.
Harris talking a little more about the uniforms as well.
And then you guys are introducing some new uniforms in April.
That's what I hear.
Giving away state secrets. So what kind of went into the process, and how much of a priority was that for you when you came in?
Yeah, it's the priority is honoring our past and then looking to the future, right? Updating, but not forgetting about our heritage, who we are, and honoring that. And so we have a bunch of things up our sleeve. I don't want to ruin the surprise, but we're going to continue to go back and try to embrace our past, but then update it. And so stay tuned.
Why was that important to you to undergo that part of it? Why, to embrace all that? Why was that important?
Well, because I lived through our past. I'm only 61, so I didn't go back before the 70s, but I was there for the 70s, 80s, and early 90s, right? And so I lived through how amazing those teams were, and what an impact it had on me. And I know that thousands of our fans, or millions maybe, feel the same way. And so I think it's important to go back to that as much as you can, but at the same time, we have a bright future ahead. So even the shape of the stadium and the look of the stadium, right? When you look at it, it looks like RFK. It doesn't, but it's been modernized, right? And so that's a great example. And so our uniforms are similar. I mean, some of the Super Bowl era uniforms, some, there's many ways to honor our past, and you're seeing how we treat athletes, and bring back some of our past superstars. So all those things go into it.
So do you think they're coming out with just the old Super Bowl stuff kind of updated? Do you think they're changing the helmet? What are you thinking?
I think that there will be the twist of our old uniforms that we played, but with the spear. And last year, last year, Darryl Green, he had the spear, and it was almost like when you go to a Panthers game with the drum and they pound on the drum, or it was another Seattle Seahawks, same thing. They pound on the drum to get their crowd or their fans up for opening kickoff. And Darryl Green had that spear and he was hoisting it and raising it and lowering it in that fashion. I think that it's going to have something to do with the spear, whether it's on the helmet, whether it's on the pants, whether it's on the jersey somewhere. I do believe that's I think they can play it safe, if you will, and to where it's not going to make anyone upset to be able to bring that back. We know that the Wetzel logo it's not coming back. But then again, you know what, Ted? if they brought it back with some semblance, who knows? Obviously, they have been thinking about it for a long time, and they understand that this is still a stickler for some fans, for
Yeah.
most fans. So if by chance they do something, some type of resemblance, who knows? But they've been thinking about it, and best believe that the marketing team, they've scorched the earth to figure out how they can bridge the old and the new together. And I can't wait, bro.
Yeah, I agree with you that I think they're going to incorporate some kind of spear someplace, right? It was interesting to me that they had a box that seemed like a helmet was in it, right? And
Hmm.
the NFL does have rules, right? They've got a 5-year rule. Teams can only do a full uniform redesign once every 5 years. That includes new primary jerseys, pants design, and major branding changes. It makes it so the league stays somewhat stable. You don't have a bunch of stuff just kind of cycling in, cycling out. The exception is if new ownership came into play. So, since we do have new ownership, they can do a significant change if they wanted to. And I've been seeing a bunch of Fanatics deals on old jerseys popping up. I get
Hmm.
emails constantly from Fanatics
Yeah.
saying jerseys are 50, 60% off. At the team store last year at the end of the season, all jerseys except the Super Bowl era were 50% off. So the Vapor Elite, like the authentic on the field jerseys, normally those are 300 plus. Those are going for like a buck 50. Right? To me, that was a heck of a steal. But then it made you think,
Mm.
why was that one on sale 50% off, but the Super Bowl era one's full price?
Aha.
Right? These guys are playing chess, not checkers, man. And
Yeah. Yeah.
I remember we never actually got to talk about it on the pod, but I think it's Zach Selby does his mock drafts for the Commanders. Everybody freaked out about that mock draft logo. And those that haven't seen it, it's on the YouTube right now. It's a W when a circle, and then there's two spears kind of going through it. So it's almost like that W is maybe a shield and two Roman spears kind of going through it. Like reminds me of you ever see that Troy movie with Brad Pitt?
Hmm.
That's kind of what I think about when I see like that spear or something like that. It's definitely not a Native American type spear, something more back to Roman times. And that came out a while ago. And I've seen other iterations of that coming from the team itself on different things that I don't think they're socializing it. I think they're just slowly, systematically putting out into the ether so people get used to it.
Well, I gotta tell you. Okay, so let me ask you this: do you like that?
I don't hate it, man. It does not bother me because right now, Commanders just feels generic. So
Well, but the name
if
isn't going to change though. So,
name's not going to change, but if they had something you can kind of tie it back to, I mean, Major Tuddy's he's a pig, right? He's got nothing to do with Commanders. But if they had
he's a
something kind of,
hog. He's a
yeah,
hog.
he's a hog. I get it. But if they had something they kind of could tie it back to that this is why we're this. If actually a clip I didn't cut up, guy was asking about naming rights for the new stadium. Right? And Harris said it's way too early for that. But to have that
Uh,
be the Coliseum, if we're the Commanders from kind of those old times, I think that'd be kind of badass. And speaking of new stadium, this was actually Harris talking about some updates on the stadium.
What's the latest on the stadium? Is it on track for your timeline?
On track, totally on track. Hard at work on so many cool things when you start to think about it. But basically, we're starting utility construction this month. Next year, about this time, we'll start construction. We're doing some of the detailed design features, and there's so many cool opportunities with the innovation in stadiums. I mean, whether it's the shape of the scoreboard, which we may have some things up our sleeve on, whether it's size of the scoreboard, the sound, the nature of the roof, where the premium, how close many of the seats are relative to other stadiums. There's so many great opportunities, but we're definitely on track. And looking forward. This is going to be an amazing project. It's the funnest part of every week for me is spending several hours on the stadium.
So I'm excited to hear that they're on track and that things are going as planned. I
Oh
am
yeah.
surprised that it doesn't seem like they're going to be breaking ground until April 2027. That to me seems kind of late, but obviously these guys know what they're doing. Because if you drive by
Well,
there, there's nothing there.
well, if you're laying groundwork for utility stuff, wouldn't that be considered breaking ground? I mean, maybe I have a different outlook on breaking ground. I thought breaking ground was when you start doing what he said they're doing, and which is they're starting to put the utility stuff down. I would have thought that you break ground. Hey, here we are. We're putting shovels in the ground right now because you don't lay that on top of the ground. Obviously, it has to go underneath. So
Yeah.
that's why I would have thought that they would have had the golden shovels and the hard hats and the photo op, putting the shovels in the ground. But what do I know? I'm just the
You could
rally
be right.
captain.
I mean, you definitely could be right. I'm envisioning there's nothing ceremonial about them putting in some, Cat 6 cables and pipes underneath, right?
Yeah,
To
it
me,
is.
that to me is just boring old infrastructure.
So what do you want to see? What does Tailgate Ted want to see breaking ground? A structure in the background?
No, I want the fact that they're bringing in cement. They're going to start building that foundation with rebar and everything else that they're putting inside there. So I'm a little
Okay.
surprised that it's going to take a year to get to that point, right? When we're actually going to start seeing some of that construction, because the thing has been demolished, taken apart piece by piece for some time now. And I know people are wondering, are they going to meet that timeline? And, the Women's World Cup, when that gets out of here, I think in 2030 and everything else, but I'm not putting anything past these guys, man. They have a vision and they don't let anything get in their way. From meeting them and just seeing everything they've done so far, these guys have a goal. I mean, there was a question that JP Finley said, famously said, Josh Harris, you're not an F minus kind of guy. And he basically came back and said, no, I'm not. And he's investing more money into Northwest Stadium. And during his comment, he said, we know that there's very little ROI. For those that don't know, that means return on investment to put money
Hmm.
into Northwest because the stadium is going away. But he said, we have to invest that money because our season ticket holders, our fans, deserve a good experience. So we're fine putting money into the old stadium, knowing that we're not going to get a ton out of that in return because we're putting all this other money into the new stadium on top of it. So I love hearing that they're not going to neglect where we're going to be playing for the next 4 years while
That's a
they're
good
still
thing.
building this monstrosity around the corner.
Yeah, that's a good thing. Really is. It really
Yeah.
is because let's face it. Uh, you don't want any more pipes leaking, rainwater, or anything else in between. That wasn't a good look. This is a good look. We understand that these grown men know that, you know what, even though I'm driving a hoopty, I've got to put oil in the engine in order to keep it running. They understand that. So that's what I like about them. They're not just going to let it go by the wayside. And here's the other thing, they understand that we're 5 years away. So
Yeah.
can you imagine not doing anything and just having people in a dilapidated building? Think about when RFK had the Nats or the soccer team. It wasn't good, bro.
Yeah.
It wasn't good. And they weren't trying to put too much into it because they knew that it was going by the wayside. So I'm sure you went to a couple of, or
Oh,
maybe you did.
yeah.
Did you ever go to any soccer games there?
No,
And
I've definitely been to some United games there, and
yeah,
I was just
yeah.
at the Columbia France game back at the stadium the other day, like this past weekend,
Hmm.
right? And I saw
Hmm.
some improvements just from last football season to now.
Yeah.
So they're
So
doing stuff.
The RFK Stadium, they did the fans a disservice when the United was there and Nats were there, even though they tried. But so they understand. Um, we got to have a segment, if you will, of what we don't like, if you will. So And we're going to continue the show, but just keep that feather in your cap, what we don't like. And I'm going to expound on that later on. So, what's the next topic, my brother? Keep it rolling.
So, in regards to Jayden and the flag football game, did you watch it?
No, I was too busy. I heard about
So
it, but I didn't watch it.
we had guests in town. So Mrs. Tailgate was being tour guide, taking them all over town. The last thing I want to do living downtown is deal with cherry blossom traffic and all these people. So
Ooh.
I sat at home, did not want to be bothered. And then my Twitter timeline's going crazy. And I'm seeing all these pictures. I completely slept on the flag football game. So I went back and watched the entire thing because Grant Paulson, there were a bunch of people that were like, what? How's Jayden going to play in this? What's going on? He's going to get hurt. He's Mr. Glass. Like, fans forget that he played the entire 2024 season.
Not Mr. Glass.
I don't understand how they just systematically just got out of their brain that Jayden played all of 24 and took us to a championship. And it's flag football. And I get being concerned about it, but this is actually what Adam Peters had to say about Jayden participating.
I have to ask about Jayden. Just everything he dealt with last season. Was there any concern about him participating in the Fanatics football game? Did you watch it?
Yeah, I try not to watch too much of it, but we talked about this really for, when did it start? When the thing came out, maybe in September. So we've had an open dialogue with Jayden about that throughout, and so obviously you're concerned. I think all of us are probably concerned about that. Not just me, probably me the most, but but understanding that it's something that was important to him, and just talking about the risk versus reward and all of that, and then he's got to make the decision on his own in terms of that. But we supported whatever he wanted to do, and the thing about Jayden, he loves football, he loves playing, he loves competing, and so I think that was something that was important to him. So I'm glad he did it. I'm glad he came out and helped it.
So it was Team USA versus a bunch of NFL players. Some former players. You had Gronk and Brady out there. You had Odell Beckham out there. Odell had a disgusting one-handed catch. But Team USA kicked the NFL players' ass, man. The first game was 39-14. The second game, and keep in mind, the NFL players didn't play all the time, so it was two different teams for the NFL. It was the Wildcats FFC and then the Founders FFC. And the Wildcats team had Jayden and Joe Burrow on it, and the Founders had Brady, and had Jalen Hurts. Jalen threw a pick six, which I love seeing that replay a couple of times. But Team USA beat Brady's team 43-16. They just mopped them up and down the field. It was obvious that it's just a very, very different game, flag football versus NFL, obviously, in regards to you can't tackle the guy, different rules.
No contact,
you can't
right.
like flag guard. You can't jump up in the air. You leave your feet. You're down. I don't think the NFL players, not all of them, but a majority of them, knew what any of the rules were. And it was just kind of sad to watch because I don't think the NFL players took it serious. I just think that they thought, I'm a pro athlete. We're going to be able to smoke these guys. And that could have been closer or farther from the truth.
Play it down to the competition.
That's what they thought. And there was a guy, I think it was last year, that said he's a better flag football quarterback than Patrick Mahomes. And people gave him so much crap. I honestly believe it. What this guy did, just because it's such a different game on the nuances of what you're allowed to do, I think that he'd be better than Mahomes. And flag football is going to be in the Olympics. I signed up to the LA 28 Olympics. You can try and sign up for different sports that you want to go watch. Flag football was one of the sports that I chose I wanted to go watch. And some of these NFL players, they definitely want to represent the U.S. I don't know if they're going to make the cut, man. I'm not too sure if that's going to happen.
Well, I do understand the premise, and a lot of football, let's face it, is about brute strength. Flag football isn't about brute strength, you know. So on one hand, you got a guy who's shoulder square, ready to knock your block off. And on the other hand, a guy who has quick hands to just grab your flag and put it down and say, "I got it." So it's totally different, and it's football, but it's totally different.
Yeah.
So I can see that. And once again, Patrick Mahomes is looking at certain keys, if you will, for tackle football versus flag is different. So I can see that. I really can.
Guess who is actually trying out for Team USA?
Let's see.
Burgundy and gold legend.
Oh, RG3.
No. I said legend.
He's not a legend?
Hell no,
2012
man.
was a legendary year, man. Come on, man.
He is
Come
not.
on.
1 year does not make you a legend, man. No way in my book does 1 year make you a legend. Daryl Green, man.
Daryl
DG.
Green, that's right.
Yeah.
Daryl Green.
So
Yeah.
DG submitted an app. I don't know what consisted of that, if it was tape and everything else, but DG is going to try and be on the flag football team. And like you said, it's about speed. And that is one thing that man is fast.
Yeah.
So you can't block anybody. You can't even get in the way of somebody. The way it works is you've got guys that are going out on routes and they had a free rusher coming at you. If you literally make that rusher sidestep to get around you, that's a flag. Brady, Jayden, Burrow, all those guys were under pressure the second that ball was hiked to them. So speed kills in flag football.
Mm-hmm.
And man, I follow DG on Instagram and everything else. The guy seems like he still has it. And I know it's different when you put the pads on and he's out there laying hits or getting hit, but he ain't laying any hits here. Except Burrow did get knocked down a couple of times and actually took a couple of hits. And that's what I saw when my Twitter went crazy, because he definitely got tackled, if you will, because they grabbed his flag and then he went down as part of it.
Oh, okay. Well, I guess the reason why there's no guess to it. The reason why I said RG3 is because I heard that he's trying out for the Olympics. And so that's what I thought, the Olympic flag football. That's why I thought that. So
he's trying, man. He's trying. And I hope for our sake he doesn't make it, because man, he is just RG me is what I call him. Because it is all about him. If he makes the Olympic team, it is not going to be about the Olympics or Team USA. It's going to be out what he did. And his true colors shined when all he cared about during his press conferences was talking about him, not the other players around him. And that's what impresses me so much about JD5 is he gives props to everybody but himself. And Robert, to me, only cares about himself. And the last thing we need is him on stage. And I don't know. That guy drives me a little crazy. And I still hurt that I bought that expensive ass jersey that was not 50% off. It's still sitting in my closet.
Hey man, everyone did. Everyone did. I mean, the city was so lacking of anything when he came to where we jumped on it. And I mean, let's face it. When was the last time we won that many games? I mean, it was a while.
Yeah, it's been a long time.
Yeah, so I can understand it. You know, we all jumped on the bandwagon. I mean, I think that he was the one who started the whole bucket hat. Let me tell you. So you remember that bucket hat craze that RJ3 had, right? I would happen to be in Florida at a sports memorabilia shop, and I saw the bucket hat, and I said, "Man, that's a nice hat." I just happened to pick it up on a whim, just because it was Redskins and it looked cool at the time. He wore that bucket hat, and they all sold out. I had people wanting to give me money for my bucket hat back then, and so no matter what we were starving just that much for any type of attention on the nationwide scale, to where anything the man did, because he was RG3, it popped. And so like you and like many of our listeners, you know, we got RG3, if you will.
We definitely did. But one hat I will not be buying, Did you see the Commanders draft hat for this season?
I did see it with the pin in it.
So the pin, they put a pin in, like the pin last year was just a hog, which I actually liked that hat and that pin. This hat to me, man, looks like, other than, I don't know if this is silver around the W, it looks like they had extra hats that they just kind of put that around there as a little border and then change the inside of the hat. The only thing I like about it is the cherry blossoms on the inside, and you can't even see it because you're wearing the hat.
Okay, I was going to say that, but you beat me to it. I get it. This could come down to be a collector's item. It could be some years down the line, but like you said, incorporate the cherry blossoms on the outside of the hat, not the inside of the hat.
And it's what, $45, $46. You probably have to order $50 worth of something so you can get free shipping. So it's gonna have, you have to spend more money than that, or get it on ship, or you can just go to the Commander store. But I typically buy all the draft hats. This legit looks like a hat that I already own, other than that outline around the W and in the inside that no one's ever going to see. So I could just get a draft pin and put that pin on the hat I already have.
No one would be the wiser.
And no one would know, because you're not going to see the inside of my hat. So I was a little disappointed. I haven't bothered to look at the other teams' draft hats and what they did, because I'm not buying it. But I was hoping for something a little more creative. I feel that Fanatics, I don't know, they're not wowing me with anything they have. I'm going to a couple World Cup matches, and as we're sitting here, I finally got a number for my queue. I'm 21 more minutes until I can actually buy some more World Cup tickets, and I've been on this since 10 a.m. and it is 7 right now. But I just feel that Fanatics stuff that they come out with, it's just kind of plain and boring. Maybe at least for our team. I don't know.
That's why you have the Pro Standard, the Mitchell and Ness. I mean, you have so many other companies that are jumping into the game because people want to be different. They want to see other iterations of hats. And you know me, I always like to be different. I don't ever want to wear anything off the rack, even though this shirt is off the rack. But I'm big into custom stuff because I want to be different. I don't want to be the same guy that you see walking out into the stadium. I want to be a little different. So, but these other pop-up companies are coming up to showcase their wares, and people are buying them. And if I was ever have a contact, I got plenty of ideas that would just make things pop and people would want to buy it. I just don't have any contacts like that.
Yeah, I get all my stuff from Breaking Tea. I'm not shy about it. I mean, this shirt's from Breaking Tea. And I've got a commission link. If you buy a Breaking Tea shirt with my link, I'll get a couple dollars back that help me with the tailgate and everything else that we do. So, but yeah, I'm looking at the Falcons hat right now. It literally looks just like an old Falcons hat with that silver outline. At least I think it's silver. And inside the hat, it's a picture of peaches for Georgia. So, I mean, I feel that you could have taken the outside and maybe put that on the back of the hat, like back here, instead of inside it, so you could actually see some of it. Like you said, take the cherry blossoms and put it on the outside. Like I've got a Nationals hat, the cherry blossom hat that they came out with. I love that.
Yes. Yeah. That's different. The jersey that they have with the cherry blossoms, I mean, it's that type of stuff that's unique. And a matter of fact, forgive me, who came up with the jackets? I can't remember the name.
DC Proper.
DC Proper. Those jackets sold out in a heartbeat. Why? Because they were different, but they still told a story behind DC. And if I'm not mistaken, they have cherry blossoms with the monument
right on the sleeve.
Right on the sleeve. So come on, guys. Come on.
They need to hire you, man. Maybe get a new era on Fanatics to bring you on board so they can.
Oh, bro, I'd set them straight. At least for Commander stuff. I can't speak of anybody else, but for Commander stuff, I'd set them straight and I've got plenty of ideas that I know people wouldn't be able to stay on the shelf. I know.
I mean, it's apparent that they just take one design and then just throw it across the rest of
and
the
roll
league.
with it. Yeah,
Right?
and
They
roll with it.
don't bother making anything unique per team, which it's a shame, right? It really is a shame because if you had something focused for that region, I think you get more people that would buy it, more people that would rock it.
Mhm. Well, so I can see these type of hats being the same, but as we get into the season, they normally do flip the script and change the iterations, if you will, because now I've even seen cream commander's hat, colored
Yeah.
commander's hat. So, so right now for this, I can kind of understand, hey, look, we know we got to get this stuff out. All right, fine, let's get it out. But as the season goes on, you'll see different type of hats and different styles and colors and color matches and things of that nature. So yeah, but right now, like you said, this doesn't move me to want to like we can go on eBay and get a $3 pin, NFL pin, and stick it on the hat, and none the wiser.
I'd love to see something unique about the draft hats in the city where the draft is. Nothing about our town, but the fact that it's going to be in Pittsburgh this year. Throw something on there that kind of
Three
signifies
Rivers.
that draft
Yeah.
was in Pittsburgh. Right? Next
Yeah.
year, it's going to be on the National Mall. Right? Josh Harris was talking. They're expecting 1 million people on the mall for the draft here in DC next year. Right? Throw
I'll be one of
something
them.
iconic there. So
Yeah.
to change it up and do that, man, maybe you and I need to cut this clip up and send it to New Era so they can put us on payroll and give us a little bit of some money on the back end. But did you hear who's looking for some more money that might be locked out instead?
Who's looking for more money?
The NFL refs. They're talking about having some scab referees coming in. So
Oh,
during the NFL owners meeting, they voted on a couple of things, right? One thing they voted on, you can do onside kicks anytime in the game. Previously, you could
good.
only do onside kicks in the fourth quarter. So it's a step in the right direction. The problem
But
is
okay, go ahead. Go ahead.
you have
I
to
was gonna
announce the onside kick.
Okay, and that's what I was gonna say. So that's boo. The best thing you could ever do is an unscripted onside kick where
Yeah.
the team
I mean, an
didn't
ambush
know
onside
about it.
kick.
Yeah, where the team didn't know it, and the probability I'm sure was a lot higher because they weren't expecting it.
So the fact that, okay, you can do it now, like when we were getting our ass kicked against the Seahawks, we probably could have used a couple of onside kicks that game if we ever actually scored or anything happened, but we had to wait until the fourth quarter till we could actually do it. So, okay, they're changing that rule. NFL is going to allow it now all the time. They are changing the kickoff rule if it goes out of bounds. If the ball goes out of bounds prior, it will get placed at the 40. Now it's getting placed at the 50. So they really want to make sure you give
Oh.
teams a chance to run it back. Because to get the ball at the
Wow.
50, I mean, I think that
That's
Dallas kicker could probably make a field goal from there.
he could. He's done it.
Yeah.
60 yards, right? 65 yards, something like that.
I think he had like
crazy.
a 60 and some change. So you really forcing, kickoff teams to make sure they get it in there. And now they're changing the alignment of the receiving team in the setup zone. Don't know exactly what that is. But more importantly, the league is allowing for 1 year to have missed penalties or incorrect calls come from the command center. So I don't know if that's New York, but if a
Kinda like
ref misses a
USFL?
call, kind of like USFL at that point, if a
Okay.
ref misses a call, they can radio in and say, no, this should have been a flag because officials are going to possibly be holding out. And I think the last time there was a holdout was 2012, and they can't agree to pay. The officials want to be full-time. They're part-time right now. There's a bunch of stuff that they are not seeing eye to eye on. So part of the owners' meetings, the NFL owners said, we're going to have replacement refs. We're going to have some other guys back at HQ making sure the calls that they miss aren't that egregious.
So this kind of reminds me of Ragnar when the mascot, he used to be the mascot of the Vikings. Ragnar was obviously a human being. He would ride his motorcycle out on the field, and Ragnar said, hey, you guys are paying me, I don't know, hypothetically, let's just say hypothetically, because I don't know, you guys are paying me $1,000 a game. Well, you know what? I think I need $6,000 a game. And Ragnar priced himself out of being the mascot, and now they have this guy, kind of anime, if you will, this character that comes out. But these refs are going to price themselves out, and let's face it, there's going to be someone else who will step in and do that job, bro. And whether it's for the good or for the bad, somebody's going to do that job. The other thing, Ted, is this, man. The NFL makes a lot of money, man.
Yeah, they do.
They make a lot of money. You come on, guys. I don't know about as far as being full time is concerned, because what are you going to do in the off season? Are they like cheerleaders? They get paid per game or whatever. I mean, how does that even work?
I mean, they're part time, so I don't know if it's per game. I do know that the NFL wants to award referees that have better calls, that have more consistent calls. So you have different refs that are on different spots in the postseason. So it wouldn't surprise me if they got paid, not on a per game basis, but if you're a ref and you suck, we're not going to have you during the playoffs. The guys that are in the playoffs get bonus money, right? Stuff like that. So,
well, how many times have we heard? How many times have we heard basically, oh, that's Hockley. Hockley calls a close game, a tight game, and sure enough, the last minute of the game or whatever have you, he'll call that play, and you're like, come on, dude. So we know what refs do that all the time. Matter of fact, even on the show, you said, hey, this crew is officiating the game, so don't be surprised if you see this. They know. Some guys are just sticklers than other guys.
Yeah, there's a scouting report on teams, and there's a scouting report on refs.
Mm-hmm.
The Commanders have a guy that does research on the referees that are calling that game. It's no secret. It's posted before the game on who's calling what, and this guy likes to call holding if you're grabbing guys from here versus out here and just other spots, things to focus on, things to worry about. And teams aren't dumb. They also send in footage of other teams and bring it to the ref's attention before the game that so-and-so's been doing this. Right? I remember Commanders game back in the day where the long snapper for a team we were going against would grab the ball and make it flinch. And I remember, I think it was Rivera at the time, specifically said, yeah, we brought it to their attention, we showed them tape, and the referee called it. So there's a lot of gaming back and forth. I'm just concerned that a league that makes billions of dollars is so hesitant and that they are willing to degrade the quality of their product and think that allowing someone not there, allowing someone in New York or wherever headquarters is, LA, wherever the hell it is, to be able to call a foul remotely. That to me is not the answer to this problem of a potential lockout. And I think that's what they're going to do for a little bit until either the refs cave or the owners cave. Because a lot of referees have second jobs because it's not a full-time job for them. They've got second jobs. Maybe they, party too much and play too much pickleball like I do and buy too many paddles. I don't know. But they got second jobs, and some of these guys just don't want to have the second job.
I'd love to know what the average salary is for the head ref, to the line judge, to the back judge. I would like to know what those salaries are to see, okay, the average person, I'm going to just say at their full-time job is let's just say 150, 100,000 for the year. And that's kind of high, I think, with the average salary. Okay. So if a ref is making that or less, then I tend to agree with them. But if refs are what do you think refs make, Ted? I don't know. What do you think?
I just looked it up. Within $50,000, how much do you think a head ref makes?
Within 50,000.
Within 50,000.
Per year.
Per year.
Per season. Okay.
Yeah.
So basically 6 months out of the year, I'm gonna say 200,000.
200,000.
200,000.
250K is what a head ref, according to this website I'm looking at, makes.
You can't live off of that.
That's insane to me that these guys have second jobs, right? And they also get bonuses. So if you're the ref for the Super Bowl, the ref gets $50,000 to $60,000 for the Super Bowl.
What are they doing?
So,
are they driving Uber, DoorDash?
I don't know, man. I'd love to see that guy's tax form since it's tax season right now and what his second job is. Because,
man.
Okay, the line judge, the back judge, within $50K, what do you think it is?
Okay, so if he's 200,000, I'll go down 50,000. I'll say 150.
I should have made this harder, man. So it's 150 to 200,000 from a line judge to a back judge.
Dude, do you know how many people would love to make 200,000 or 150,000?
I'm raising my hand right now.
Yeah.
For 6 months.
So how about this? How about the guy who wears the bright green gloves that calls the time, and that you see him on the sideline? Matter of fact, our friend Drew, he does it sometimes. I'm gonna have to ask him what he gets paid. I don't want to get that deep into it, but I don't want to ask anybody that. But I'd like to know, even the smallest person, the guy who brings out the freaking replay monitor. What does he get paid? Because this is a lot of money, man.
It is, man. And it's saying here that the clock operator guy is $400 to $800 a game. So that's still not bad. You're sitting there, you get a sideline view of the game. And Drew, listen to the podcast. He's a Commander season ticket holder, diehard Burgundy and Gold fan. And he'd be at the game regardless. So now he's on the sideline and he's wearing the orange gloves and helping win the clock. If you've been to a game, you see a guy sitting there waving his hand, telling the clock to go, telling the clock to move, or having the clock stop. So $400 to $800 a game. Now I can see how Drew can afford some of those away games he goes to.
Yeah, Drew's a good guy. Very good guy.
He is. And I'm hoping they just come to some agreement, man, because
it makes sense.
It's
the most watched sport on the planet, and you don't want to pay your guys. I mean, that's something. But at the same time, I think that some of those refs might need to temper a little bit of their expectations, because if I'm not mistaken, they get to fly free. They don't pay for flights out of their own pocket. The hotel is taken care of. Everything is taken care of. What do you mean? Then again, they could say, "You don't know what you're talking about, kid." And I would say, "You're right. I don't know," because I don't. But it just seems like, on layman's terms, from a guy who makes,
less than that.
Yeah,
less than 250. Less than 250 a year for 6 months.
A lot less than that. I'm getting by, albeit by the skin of my teeth, but I'm getting by. Come on, guys.
Yeah.
Bring it down a little bit.
And that's not for someone to complain about part-time and you're getting well over six figures. Okay. I'm never going to really agree with the owners per se, because it is $1 billion company.
Yes.
So I feel that everybody should get paid and get a piece of that pie. But it's hard for me to feel sad. I'm not going to have a little tiny violin I'm playing for these referees if it comes week 1 and they're not on the field, until the replacement guy screws us over and calls a dumbass penalty on us.
Then has us lose the game. Get that replacement ref out of here. Well, hey, you know what? I told you we got a segment. The last segment of the day is what you don't like about the NFL. Ted, I'm going to let you start off. What don't you like about the NFL?
I have a feeling I know what yours is going to be.
You know mine is going to be.
I'm going to not even take it. Man, I wish that they would just come to an agreement with the players right now about this 8-team game season.
Okay.
We know what's going to happen. We know that the players are holding out right now. Just agree to pay them, bring in 2 bye weeks, and get it done with. All this speculation going back and forth about, is it going to be 18? The players saying no. Just get it done. Stop pussyfooting around.
Because we have 3 preseasons now. They're just going to make it 2 preseason games and grandfather that other game in to make it 18. So
2 bye weeks, bigger roster. Just go ahead and do it.
More money, and Now, the bad thing about that, Ted, is what we don't want is the NFL to turn out to be how the basketball is, and they take a game, but the players say, you know what, I need a rest game. You don't want that.
Yeah, load management when you only have 18 games. I don't think we're going to see that, but they're talking about having every NFL team eventually play a game overseas. So like the travel to Australia, I know Kyle Shanahan was just talking about it. He's not looking forward to it. So if that's going to happen, I don't know if I'm going to go to every international Commanders trip at that point.
Well, that's another subject.
So for you, what are you pissed off about?
I'm pissed off about, you can give me the first game of the season's international game of September 10th, but you can't announce not just the Commanders overseas game, and that's what I care about. I don't care about the other teams. But if you can announce that the first game is September 10th, clearly you can announce when the other games are overseas. In the United States, I don't mind, because let's face it, you can prepare a little bit better because it's stateside. But we know that hypothetically, a plane ride to London is $1,200. Let's just say on average, about $1,200. You know, a plane ride in the States is $300. You know what I mean? There's a big difference. It costs more money. You guys are doing your fans a disservice, and maybe you don't care. Maybe you don't care that a person's got to figure out a way to make that trip or eat or get their medicine or whatever, maybe repair in their car or whatever have you. But you have to look at it outside of the box, guys. We know you're the big NFL. We get it. And we love you guys, but come on, just change it up a little bit. If we're playing in overseas games, you guys already know what those dates are. Let the fans know so that they can prepare. That's all I ask. All I ask from a fan's point of view. You guys know already, just like you knew September 10th. Let the fans know when the international game dates are so that they can make their plans, because you want representation of your team overseas. You just do. That's why we did it. We sold out Madrid. And we had the dates kind of early, a little earlier. So do the same for us, all right? That's what I don't like about the NFL. I hear the music playing in the background, and lets me know that we are bringing this show to an end. Thank you guys for riding with us. And if you haven't done so and you really like the show, hit the like button, hit the subscribe button. It helps us with the algorithm, and it helps us with our sponsors. We appreciate you riding with us this far. Remember, you rep it hard, but you don't rep it at all. Rally Captain, Tailgate Ted.